needless to say, there's been a couple of tornadoes in Rutland, and each time I've been in the exact same place when the tornado happened, and that's now where the fire station is. There used to be a red maple they've just taken down the last couple of years. I was outside there playing with Michael and Gary Griffin, and we were playing outside, and says, "Wow, look at this! Wow, it's getting dark. Well, let's go." You know, so I'm going home. So, well, Gary and Michael went to live into where the police station is now, the Spalding House, and Gary couldn't walk. The wind was blowing so hard even then. So I put him on my back, and we went into Dara's house there, or Priscilla Griffin, Dara, and there was a little bow window out there, and we're watching them, and we could see it go across the ball field, Memorial Field. And, wow, look at the roof go off Jack Collins's house. You know, wow, and when that happened, she took us and threw us down cellar. After the storm was over, Priscilla comes, she says, "Eddie Lee, can you stay here for a minute? And because I want to go check my house." So she walked down, and she come back 10 minutes later, distraught, obviously. And everything okay? She says, "Everything's gone. My house that they were gonna move into on July 1st, Ernie had just got done building a house. The whole house had gone." We'd, needless to say, well, I gotta go home. When I got home, my mother wasn't too happy with me. But one of the first things that I can remember was the Big Old Brothers Construction, who lived where Judy Andrews lives now. They had an Allison Chalmers bulldozer, and you could hear it running, and they come up and they went down Main Street with that bulldozer to clear all the destruction, all the wood. It was just beyond, you just can't believe it. Take her down, which they did, and they accredited Bobby with saving the young Marsh girl's life by him doing that. I mean, you know, to this day, my wife will tell you, big storms coming, we're down south. It's, you know, 60 years ago, it just burns something into your mind, that in the color of the sky, you hear that color of the sky, you see that purple yellow look to it. I'll never forget it. It's just amazing how this town reacted. Also, you know, they're talking about blood. They had collected so much blood up there at Rutland Heights Hospital that they were bringing it into Worcester and other places. The town just, we were folding bandages in the bottom of the community hall so they could take them down to the Holden Hospital and put them in their autoclave.
Buckets, put them on our heads, and we run around. My mother is screaming. And Oliver Davis, his brother Harold Davis, they still had an ice box down where Casey's live on the corner of Palmagussit and Campbell. So they put the big hailstones in their ice box and saved them. The rest of us, we had electricity that went out, so nobody got to save much. We had a Chrysler New Yorker, about a 47 convertible, shredded the thing. My father came home, I remember, and he went, what could he do? A few days later, they didn't have Cub Scouts, but they had Boy Scouts and Explorers, and the Little League had formed. So they took us up on the ball field. So Currier's house and the town barn, both of those, the roof was off. But I remember where the wood house is now, you know, where the studio is. There was a big maple tree, and the bleachers, one of those sets of bleachers, and it was more than U-shaped. It was like this. And there were also, it looked like there was grass growing out of the maple tree, but it was pieces of, well, it was more of a stalk, it wasn't grass, but they were into the bark. But I'll never forget that bleacher, just all that metal just swung right around. So they put us in a line, you know, spread out in a line, and they had us go from there across Edson Ave into down behind where, the house across from the cemetery, Holbrook's. And they wanted us to look for papers. Remember, Eddie? They had us all spread out. You're almost like a hand to hand. looking for papers because people's checkbooks and whatever, and there were stoves and refrigerators and all kinds of stuff. And we were little kids. I mean, I was in the 2nd grade, and I was just awed that this happened. And I mean, it really, you know, it has an impression. I'm, you know, a little old enough to have seen a few things in my life.